Welcome to another episode of Real Strugglers, where we talk to real filmmakers and actors about their struggles working in the chaotic world of films. Today, our guest is Rytasha Rathore. Rytasha is an actor. You've probably seen her in her TV series Bahu or in Masaba, Comedy Premier League, and even in Dahaad. I've known Rytasha now for several years. We were young when we first met. I was doing my graduation short film, and she had auditioned for it because someone tagged her on my Facebook post when I was looking for an actor.
When Facebook was still used by us.
Yes, this is pre-Instagram. Instagram existed, but there were square photos.
Yeah.
But yeah, so then she came in for the audition and she did an amazing job, and we wanted to work together really badly. And then there were issues with dates, and then she suddenly got a TV series and became a superstar. And then she couldn't give me dates because they wanted her dates, and then they were paying her and I couldn't pay her. So at the end of the day, money speaks.
Yeah. But 7 years later, I'm still your friend and I talk to nobody from that TV show. So
Why did you become an actor?
I realized I wasn't good at anything else and I hated academia. Academia, I hated it. Studying, giving tests, exams, not my scene at all. So in school, when we had school play, that's when I felt my happiest. Like I was really thriving and I was finally good at something. So I was like, that's it. मैं acting करूँगी.
So school plays, when did you start doing school plays?
9th standard properly, but obviously before that you're doing little. But in the 9th grade, I was like, oh wow, I love it. Because like doing a warm up and that, I learned when I was in the 9th grade, we were doing Alice in Wonderland, and our director at the time told us there are no small roles, only small actors. And I learned that then because I was so upset that I was not playing Alice. I was just distraught. And I cried about it for so long. I was like, but I'm so good, why can't I be Alice? They were like, you're so good as the Duchess also. And I was like, fine.
Yeah.
But
no.
that's an important lesson, I feel, which happened to me really early on in life. Otherwise, I would also have gone stuck in this thinking, I only want to do lead roles, which is not possible for all of us, sadly.
I mean, you get lead roles sometimes, you get good roles. The idea is to do something that's fulfilling for you creatively, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. And so when did you do theatre outside school as well after this?
Yeah, when I finished my 12th standard board exams, my parents were like, take a gap year. Best decision of my life, because then I interned with some theatre companies. I acted in 2 plays professionally, and I got to like perform at Prithvi Theatre, which is a very big deal, and NCPA. So I was like, that's it, I'm sorted. I've already got a thriving career in the theatre. Let's go study acting and come back. Yeah.
I think everyone's in a rush to like go to college, but there's no reason to rush into it. We're 18 when we're making these decisions.
How smart can you be about the rest of your life at that point? Absolutely. Like early on in my career, when people would ask, what do you owe this success to or whatever, and I was like, honestly, my parents, because without that is the biggest privilege to have supportive parents who can back you and give you the space and freedom to explore what you want to do. Because as a 20-year-old, 18-year-old, how do you know what you want to do for the rest of your life?
And it's too much pressure on most people. Like if you don't have supportive parents, like you need at least some sort of guidance in what to do. Otherwise, you're just going to be bhatkoing. Honestly, like it's not something for everyone, because I'm sure you know this too. Like we've worked with people over the years who've done it for a couple of years and then had to quit for whatever reasons because they just weren't feeling it anymore, maybe.
And the uncertainty of the business that we're in also, like you have to be persistent or at least not give up, because sometimes it could take a year or 2 for you to make it, but sometimes it could take 10 or 12 years before you finally get that big break that you've wanted all along. And
so many actors peak later on in their career, like Morgan Freeman. Like he started like being Morgan Freeman probably in his late 40s. Katharine Hepburn.
That's why we don't remember him as a young man ever, because I think of Morgan Freeman, it's always the old version of him that we've seen, because
After that gap year, you did a little bit of theatre and then you figured out you loved it, and then you went to drama school.
Absolutely, and for 3 years I was deep in the trenches of acting. Stanislavski, all of that shit,
And do you apply that in real life, or is it just like in you now?
It's in you. For 3 years, if you do actor training, I think it does get in Yeah, it's hard to explain to people who have not been through actor training because it's very vigorous and rigorous. Are those the right words? Probably. What actor training is meant to do is like firstly to break you down. So for 18 years of your life or whatever years of your life before you go to a drama school, you've had these, you are this person, you have these notions. All of that is broken down. The way you use your body is broken down. So then you're a clean slate to start afresh and then take on whatever character you're playing. So I think, yeah, the pursuit was to always kind of like make yourself as neutral as possible while still inherently maintaining all of the things that make you you, but to kind of get into a more neutral space and then go from there. I use a lot of my acting school stuff still, warm-ups especially.
Yeah. And okay, so acting is something that can be taught, but some people also have a natural like affinity towards it. And did you have like people in your acting school who came in like completely like awkward, stiff, and like by the end of it, like they were actors? So
Yeah.
it's something you can learn, right?
Yeah, I mean, it's all technique in terms of even just the conditioning of the body. Like, you could be naturally emotive and have a lot of like deep understanding of the psychology of a person or a character or of yourself. But maybe you're a person who's just super awkward in their body and they, like, actors have this big problem. They don't know what to do with their hands. So you'll find actors just putting their hands in their pockets all the time or standing and they don't know what to do. Acting school is great for stuff like that. Like, many people were awkward. Me also, because I didn't know what to do. And like, I was really fat when I went to acting school. I was probably like 25 kgs heavier than now. So imagine me trying to just figure out, like, with this large body in space, what to do, what to be, and how your body also tells a story. It's not just the expressions or the lines you're saying. Like, every little thing you're doing, the way your thumb is, the way your toe is, like, everything is contributing to that
Correct.
moment, I feel.
Yeah, I mean, yes, I remember I did one professional play and I was doing backstage and they wanted someone to just stand and sing. In all the photos, my hands on the side like that because I just didn't know what to do with it. Okay, so then Singapore, 3 years. Then when you first came back to Bombay, who did you hit up? Did you hit up your old theatre people?
I did. I hit up my old theatre friends and I got cast in an Adyam play because Adyam's is theatre festival which started that year when I just got back.
Aditya Birla.
Yeah, it was the first time people were pumping money into theatre in a way where like actors were getting paid like more than 2,000 rupees for a show. So I was like, wow, I've made it. And then once those show ended, and they only gave us like 9 shows. So each play would perform in Bombay, go to Delhi, come back to Bombay, and you've done only 9 shows, and you're like, fine, it's spread out over 6 months. And the time in between, I was like, now what? And then when those 9 shows ended, I was jobless. And that's when I experienced my first like mental health crisis as a freelance actor because I was just like, what do I do with myself now? I have no work.
When you first came back, you probably didn't have the same kind of network you have now with casting directors and filmmakers. So how does the grind start? How do you get into a casting director's office without knowing them?
I don't know, Karan. I think you just have to keep, I don't know. I really don't have the answer to this. I, till date, don't really reach out to people, even though I probably should. I have once or twice reached out saying, I've heard, do you all have anything I can test for a project, which I'm excited about. Like Archies, of course. When they were making Archies, I was like, let me see if I can get a sidey role in it. But they'd finished casting by then. But no, before, I think what was happening was I was just doing my plays and stuff.
What was your first audition, like professional audition?
You know, that time actually Facebook was, people were putting casting calls and all on Facebook. So I was one of those people who would go and look for what was happening. And usually not the ones which were a lot, like very, not about you. Student stuff, yes, on the side. But like the professional stuff which was happening on Facebook wasn't very credible or legit, right? These are people who are, I don't know. Anyway, so I found one of these web series that time, like early days web series casting. I've gone to 4 bungalows, Mahada, that region to give this audition. And it was okay, it was whatever. But that chick who saw my audition there, she took my audition, she's the one who then recommended me for this Bahu TV show. So I feel like, yeah, I owe it to Facebook, I guess.
So Mark Zuckerberg did do something right. Then your first paid like on-screen role was your TV series.
Yeah.
And what was that like? Because you go in TV. I don't know how many of you know this, but in TV they put out an episode every week.
Every day, sweetie. We were doing 5 days a week on air, Monday to Friday, 9:30 p.m. only on TV.
And how many episodes would be there in a season?
There's no season.
Like in a year.
He doesn't know anything, yeah. He's so dumb, yeah.
Did you know anything about TV?
I didn't know anything also, okay? Except that people watch this. They really consume this Saas Bahu stuff. I knew that. No, I didn't know what I was signing up for. I thought, oh, this is going to be a great gig, nothing hectic. But it was too hectic. Like, no days off. You're shooting 12 hours a day. Sometimes you have the episode supposed to go on air like tomorrow, but you've still not finished shooting a part of that episode. So there's a lot of working against the clock a lot, and it's quite hectic.
So you went from dealing with mental health issues because of a lack of work to having mental health issues because of too much work.
Too much work, exactly. And I went from being like this theater artist who was like doing Stanislavski kind of work into doing this kind of work which was so opposite of being an artist. It was so working in a TV show, I'll tell you, is like being in an office or like a factory. There is a formula for all TV shows where it's a cycle. Happy couple, big celebration / party, gathering of many people, big drama goes down. From there, the drama continues. Happy couple again, they solve the drama, throw the celebration, again a new drama starts. So that's the cycle of television. And I was just sick of crying every day. They would make my character cry every day. She was so bichari. My eyes were red all the time. There were days I've just shot and I've gone home and I can't keep my eyes open because I'm like, I have done so many crying scenes today. I can't physically, like, my eyes, I mean, I'm not working. I shut down completely. My mental health was shot. And I had to start therapy because of Bahu. I said it.
Did you want to quit the show midway or?
I had to sign a contract, and the first contract says that there is no exit clause for the lead actor in a television show, a soap, like a daily soap. You have to be in the show till it is on air. It could be 2 years, 3 years, 5 years, 8 years.
And they don't have a duration in mind, it's just based on how
they want to run it. So that's the mentality. When you start a TV show, you're hoping it runs for as long as possible because the longer it runs, the more money you start making as a producer. And of course, employment. Television creates heaps of employment. So I understand the value of it and why people want to be part of it.
But it does have a little bit of exploitative nature attached to it, right?
Yeah. One could say, but then that's even like the web series world or the film world, like ADs and the people who are lower down in the rung, are they really being paid fair wages for their work? Of course not. You see ADs, they're overworked and are so unhealthy because of the nature of their jobs.
Yeah.
They're not getting enough sleep, they're underhydrated, badly nourished. Like, what the fuck is going on?
Yeah.
The youth is putting their lives at line for this kind of work, which seems life or death, and oh my God, we're running against like so much to do, so much to know, I have this, but for what? Like, it's not a war you're fighting, you're not saving the planet, you're not doing anything that's that mind-blowing also, you're making a stupid show at the end of the day.
Yeah, I know, and I mean, I've been an AD for 7 years and I was fortunate to work with filmmakers who I really enjoyed working with, and I mean, the hours were hard, it was difficult work, like on some days I would do 60,000 steps on set. And
what is that? What is that?
And
what is 60K steps?
But I felt I was getting paid fairly though. But but when I did go to bigger production houses for work, and after 6 years of being working as a first AD, associate director, script supervisor, they'd offer me like what I was getting in my first job, as saying that this is an opportunity to be working
just to work with them.
To work with them. And
it's in fact the bigger production houses that are worse because they are exploiting way more, I feel.
Yeah, because in a smaller production house, everyone is anyway going to quote higher because they know it's going to be longer hours, harder work. But it's at least you feel like you've done something on set. Like the days I would be sick, I knew that shit was going down on set, and I'd be happy like they need me. But on a big production company, like you don't get that kind of respect. I feel like they kind of undervalue you as an individual.
Absolutely, you are so replaceable. Who are you really?
But we all are replaceable, but we shouldn't, you can't treat a human like that.
I agree, but that's a big problem with the industry anyway. Like, there's no the difference in treatment of, say, somebody who's a star or somebody who's even like a little more famous actor slash director and then a normal person on that set. It's too much.
Yeah.
Catering for crew A and crew B. I understand if there's the same food in both places and you're just spreading it out for the bheed and to manage the crowd, but like if you're serving different food, that's wrong. But how many battles to fight?
Yeah, I mean, we also want work. Everyone wants work, so.
Yeah, and that's what you realize after working in the industry for 6-7 years or whatever. Like, it's never going to be that idealistic way that you had thought about it as a young person when I was like 17, 18 or 19, the kind of artist that I wanted to be.
What did you think what did you think your life would be like when you were 17, 18, right now at least?
We had this class in third year of college called Professional World, in which it was basically about how you're going to live your life as a professional. And we had to write something called a 5-year plan. A day in your life 5 years from now. I was, 19 or 20 when I wrote that. And I thought 5 years later, I'd be like shooting a film with Sanjaleela Bhansali. Like, I've written my day schedule. Oh my God, we're shooting a song today. And Ranveer doesn't know the steps. You know, dumb shit like that. And after this, I have to hop on a flight and go to IFA. So I thought I was going to be Deepika Padukone.
Yeah, I think even I had like that in my head. Like when I just got into film school, I think I was 21 and I had AD'd on 2 films by that time. And I was thinking, okay, Ayan Mukherjee made his first film by 25. I'm going to do that. Then I Google him and realize he's from a film family. And I was like, okay, I'll give myself 2 more years. Cut to 27, I'm begging my friends to give me money to help me make a short film or doing some kind of thing to just like get my work out there. And I mean, it's good. I mean, reality slaps you in the face in this biz a lot, I feel.
Yeah. For a long time, I compared myself to Alia Bhatt because she's born in 1993 also. And I was like, if she's doing, even I can do. But I'm like, babe, she's Alia Bhatt.
Yeah.
So what the fuck, right?
Yeah, like.
How naive.
Yeah. And I think my first, this thing about it was, I mean, every year I would say, okay, this is my last year as an AD. Next year I'm going to be making my feature film, my web series or whatever. And every year it's like a new slap in the face. Like I mean, I don't think this happens to actors so much, but I've pitched scripts and then they'll be like, we like your script, but we can't attach your name as a writer. So we'll buy the script off you when we'll get someone else
who's more famous and well known and stuff. Yeah, I mean, like, we've been trying to make a show for the last few years. We've shot a pilot and all, and I know how hard it is to get it going.
I mean, get people to even read your mail. Like, I've sent it to everyone, I think, and like luckily I have had like a good support system in the South that's like helped me with it. But even between the South and Bombay, there's a lot of handicap. Like, they look at the South in a different light. They're like, no, you guys make these kind of films, so you stick to that. And it's just odd, like.
Which is crazy because I feel like we may not have the privilege of being born into a film family per se, but we have enough privilege in terms of monetarily and like socially. Like, you have enough and more clout. I also know enough and more people. But it doesn't still make the acting or the directing journey that much easier. I really think to get a real break or to get a big shot at something, you have to be born to a parent who is either a big superstar or a big producer or a big director. Then only your life is going to be the way we imagined that it would be when we were 18, 19. There's no other way you can just blow up like that.
Yeah, because there are lacks of actors in India. There are lacks of directors, writers. So, like, I mean, not everyone's going to get a chance, and it's also unfair to say that it's not fair on us because these people have the network, whether they like it or not. We kind of have to carve our way in, and some people have it even worse than us.
Exactly.
So, like, there's like these different levels of struggle in the biz, and like it's Like, I mean, even like people on the top are like flopping all the time, and like think about their mental health. There's 500 crores gone into that film, and you just
Absolutely.
completely devoured like an economy of a small city.
Right, I think about this sometimes. I think the pressures also of being in this space must be
Yeah,
unbelievable.
it
Like,
doesn't get easy at any point, and it like you'll always want more, I feel.
yeah.
So, I mean, you've been doing a lot of work also on the side. Like you did that Vice thing, which I really enjoyed.
Sex Rated, a Vice documentary. Watch it. It is the best thing I've done.
She tells you where you can buy dildos in India. Now you get Instagram ads on it.
Buying dildos. No, yeah, now it's not hard. There's so many amazing sex toy websites in India now.
Yeah, but back then there was nothing, and then so you were hosting that. How was that? Was that
The
fun?
best experience of my life.
Did they reach out to you? Did you like
They
have to
reached out
audition
to
for
me.
it? What was
I
the
did,
deal?
I did. I have to. Okay, so it was during Bahu, in fact, and
How did they feel about this?
one of my co-actors from Bahu used to be a flatmate with somebody who worked at Vice at the time. So she was like, they want to talk to you about something. So it kind of just worked out, like right place, right time, right connection, or whatever. Now that girl and I are no longer friends, but I got this great gig. And coming back to the exit clause, which I said didn't exist in the contract, I cried and I forced them to add an exit clause. And they said after 1 year, you can put in your papers if you want to, but you have to serve a 6-month notice period. So at any point, if I wanted to leave, I'd have to tell them 6 months in advance. So as soon as my 1 year finished, I was like, I'm out, guys. After 3 months only, I wanted to quit. Anyway, but after those 6 months ended, I was done. And then I'd been cast in this Vice thing by then. So immediately I finished Bahu in March 2018, went to shoot the Vice thing. April, May, I've shot, we've traveled, gone to Banaras, we've gone to Calcutta, we've gone to Delhi, we shot in Bombay. It was a great experience, honestly, like one of the most fulfilling things I've ever done. I got to meet such interesting people. Can you imagine going to like Delhi and meeting a bunch of normal people? One's a lawyer, one's a dentist. They have like a BDSM gang.
Yeah.
Fucking cool. And they're so fucking educated about it, and it's such a safe space, and it's not like spanking. No, it's like, ugh, mazedar.
Yeah.
Exactly, Cooper.
Cooper gets it. Yeah, he's a humper.
He's a humper.
And after Vice, what was next? Like, what were you doing after that?
Jobless. And when I quit my TV show, everybody was like, now what? What are you going to do? I was like, ab main seedha Netflix pe dikhungi, bitches.
And you did?
God's plan. Yeah. So I auditioned for too many things, never got anything. Then I auditioned for Masaba. And I was like, this is a world that I understand. Grown up talking like this, we have friends like this. So I was like, this is going to be great. I need to get this. Every day I have journaled Karan. I'm one of those people who will write and believe in manifestation and all. He's looking at me with such just suspicion. But I think it worked because I wrote every day for 2 months in my journal. I am happily shooting for Masaba with Masaba Gupta. I've covered pages of my journal with just that. And a month later, they were like, yeah, cool, you got the part. The money is nothing. Like barely any money. Because again, this is the whole thing. Now they want to exploit you in a way only. Oh, you're getting to be on Netflix.
Hello, season 3 has to still come out.
I'm a professional, guys. I'm really good at my job, but I'll call out the bullshit also.
Yeah, fair.
And I did it. So that time it wasn't about the money for me, right? So I was like, no problem, of course. I'm happy to do the role.
I exploited you that way.
But who are you? You are not Netflix.
That
you are
is
not
true.
this big production house who has like these successful TV shows running. That production house had enough money
Yeah.
to not underpay all of its lesser known actors. But anyway.
And after Masaba, you did Dahaad. You did anything in the middle?
I did this show for Netflix called Comedy Premium
Oh,
League,
yeah,
which
yeah,
was
yeah.
like a random blip in my career as a comedian.
And did you ever think you'd want to do comedy that way?
No, Karan, but you know how much money people put into comedy shows in this country?
No, I don't.
Budgets for comedy, huge. Is this all legally allowed to say? Yeah, sure, who cares?
But Dahaad was a great show though. Like, I mean,
Blessed.
yeah. And you were all like North Indian and Rajasthani with your accent and completely dropped the whirly vibe.
So Bahu.
Exactly. And I mean, I really enjoyed Rebecca. So yeah, oh, I know her.
And look at her, she's so different. Yeah, I think most people were a little surprised to see me in Dahaad because they've only seen me in a Masaba.
Correct. You've all played like urban-esque role. I mean, other than
Except
your
the TV show.
yeah.
But that audience is only different. So
Correct.
completely now, I know when people recognize me somewhere on the street, or I know where they've recognized me from just by
Gauging
by talking to them or whatever. You know who are the Bado Bahu watchers, you know who's watching Masaba, you know who's watching the comedy show. It's pretty much the youths only. The teenagers love comedy. I think the young Indians have taken to comedy in such a big way. It's amazing. But where were we? What was I saying? Anything of value?
Would you ever go back to TV though?
Guess who has called me yesterday?
Who?
Fucking Big Boss.
You
Karan, they
have
call
to.
me every year. They
have
stopped
to.
calling me
You
for 2
have
years. I stopped getting calls for TV serials a long time ago, thank God. I got a few and I would laugh. They would tell me the plot and I'd be like, मैं ऐसा काम अभी नहीं कर रही हूँ. Rude, I'm rude. I'm a bitch. People think I'm rude and a bitch. It's fine. Recently, some feedback made its way back to me being like, dude, she was so rude. And why am I rude? Because I'm assertive. Because I won't take anyone's shit. Because I know what I want. And I know how I want to be treated on a set. And I know how professionally I want to work. Like, sorry, delays, not my problem. You booked me for 4 hours, make it happen in 4 hours.
If you don't say something, people like, I mean, I'm a little passive, so I find it difficult to say something. So I do appreciate it when someone does step in and say something. And because if you don't say how you want to be treated, don't like do that, people will treat you like shit.
And as
everywhere.
a young person trying to make it in the industry for years, no matter who you are, unless you're a big star's child, you are going to be treated averagely at best. People are going to walk all over you. And the nicer you are, the more you're going to allow that. People will continue to take advantage of your kindness. And that has happened to me multiple times, of course.
When did you stop letting people take you for granted that way though?
I think it would have, probably in the last 3-4 years.
Okay.
Recent. I feel like I had to work enough to get to that place to be, also because you need to understand, right, the experience of working set after set, director after director, like different production houses teach you different things. So it took me a while to understand how they fuck around with actors. And without meaning to fuck around, they are also doing what's right for them, trying to save the company money, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But you can't take me for a ride anymore.
And I think communication is important. Like, for example, if there are delays, sometimes it's out of your hands. Like, there could be something going on, and if you
Keep me in the
communicate with
loop.
the actor,
Exactly.
it's fine.
Exactly.
Don't say, wait for 10 minutes, your shot's going to happen, make them wait for 3 hours.
Grinds my gears.
Yeah. Like,
The lack of information that actors have, actually. When you're on a set, you are the last person to find out about anything, even though your face has to be there to tell that thing that has not been communicated to you.
and then you treat someone badly, and then you're rolling a camera on their face. You think that it's not going to show that, like, you are going to have some level of annoyance, or like it's going to affect your performance. Because at the end of the day, you need a clear mind, and it's a workplace, right? You can't work under conditions that aren't comfortable.
Yeah.
Like, all the big stars know exactly what they're shooting the next day, but all the other actors are expected to just know all the lines from any scene.
We don't even know that, like, I've not reached the point in my career yet, and you've introduced me as a superstar, Karan. People are not letting me read whole screenplays before saying yes or no to a project.
I think there was this film. It had like Helen Mirren and like all kinds of stars in the film. And he shot with all these guys, but at night he would shoot orgy scenes with like penetrative sex, and the actors had no idea this
With
was...
their body doubles.
No, with just like orgies happening in the background, just to like... It was like a 3-hour or a long film with like at least an hour and a half of like real sex, not like nymphomaniac Lars von Trier, like
No way.
there in the film for the story, but like just there to like... And I think it was also produced...
That's wrong, no?
Yeah, that's fucked up, because you need to... And this is something that is hidden from the actors. Like, you think Helen Mirren is going to sign up for a film like that?
Of course not, but imagine if Bichari Helen has to deal with this shit.
But on a smaller level, that happens every single day in what we work in. It's unfortunate.
That way I have to say, like, one of the main reasons I did Dahaad also was because it was Tiger Baby doing it, and I was like...
Correct, they have a reputation and you can trust them.
They also didn't let me read all the episodes, but they let me read my episodes, the 2 that I was in. And it really was like, fine, you have to take a chance sometimes, even though you don't know, and it's a small role or whatever. Again, no small parts, only small.
But that's a
actors.
series, so I think it's also acceptable that you're
Yeah.
reading your episodes.
Yeah, so I was like, you know what, it's cool. I'm so menacing. Nobody's gonna hire me after this, Karan. No.
No, but they'll hire you for your performance, not
Personality.
not personality.
She's a handful, but she's talented.
No, but you're not a handful. Like, I mean, I work with you, and like you're there for the job. You shouldn't be there for any other reason. You should be there for the love for acting and the love for cinema.
There's an expectation from actors to also be lovely, ha ha he he people on a set.
Yeah.
Like, if you're not acting, then people expect you to kind of be like entertaining everyone otherwise. And there are many actors who do it, and I have tremendous respect for them. Maybe they have these naturally extroverted personalities where they can walk into a room and talk to anybody and be pally with anybody. I feel awkward being pally, like, bro, I just met you, I don't even know who you are, how can I start making jokes at your expense? Or I'm not all about that. I'm very professional that way. So I feel like that also gets misread sometimes, because as an actor, if you're not over friendly, you are unfriendly. And if you're not over nice, you're rude. It's so fucked up.
Yeah. I think that's what actors and ADs also probably have in common. If an AD isn't like a subservient slave to a lot of filmmakers, they don't
Too much attitude.
Yeah, too much attitude.
What? Like, I'm a fucking self-respecting individual who's here at a job. I'm here to do my work. See my work now.
Yeah.
Why are you looking at my sociability skills? Like,
Yeah, first of all, we want to be filmmakers because we don't have social skills.
we are all fucking weird artistic people with like some fucked up crazy mindset. So yeah, we're all here and we don't know how to exist in a normal place.
Yeah. And I mean, the people expect too much.
I shot a show recently, which I'm not really allowed to talk about, but that's been like the biggest role of my OTT career so far. And it's like proper 60 days of shoot and all, like amazing.
How did you feel at the end of it?
Relieved that it was done, but also sad because this is the longest I've lived with a character outside of Bahu. So it was really special, and I can't wait for it to finally release. Well, release next year. It's a show for Amazon Prime, that's all I can say. And it's fierce, it's feminist, that kind of content, which is the kind of work I anyway want to be part of. And it's, yeah, I want to work with women a little more, and you, of course. But when Bahu ended, I said I'm going to work only with like cool directors and like good people and all. And luckily it did work out that way. The kind of work you want, I feel it does find you eventually, because if you're clear about the kind of work you don't want to do, that sort of work will stop coming to you anyway.
So as an actor amongst your own community of actors, do you see similar problems that people face in terms of like work? Or are like your problems specific to you and not to other actors, do you feel?
No, it's all very relatable. All actors are kind of, like at least the actors in the hierarchy where I exist right now. This kind of like, we're doing a little bit of work, but we're not like that famous or that bankable. Everyone's kind of struggling. And you get a project and you're fine, but then it hits you now, what next? Like, I finished shooting 60 days, I'm doing a fucking lead role in a show. But then what? I'm like, now I need to wait for another year or two till this releases.
And then after that, people will see you and then you'll get calls.
People will see you. So the timelines just keep getting stretched. So by the time you've reached somewhere in your life as an actor of any kind of worth, you are maybe 32, 33, 34, 35, 38, 39, 40, who knows?
Yeah.
Like when that could happen. And you have to look young, you have to continue to keep yourself in shape and all of that stuff. I know women who are 30, but in auditions will always say, I'm 25 years old. Like, what the fuck? Why are we lying? But I don't lie. But I have friends who lie straight up about their age, because they're like, if I say I'm 30, they're not going to cast me for this.
Which is strange because some people don't necessarily need to look their age.
You're playing age. Exactly.
Wahida Rahman's played Amitabh's mother. Like, you explained that to me.
That's fucked up.
Yeah.
Like at 30 already, like the conversations have started about girls wanting to get fillers and like these laugh lines have to go. This is not new, but we all know about casting directors who look at you and tell you, you need to fix this, you need to fix that.
But it's not only for women. So I had a friend of mine, Saurabh, he was on another episode. He said for his first 5 years in Bombay, people told him he needed to get a nose job.
What the fuck, man?
You can't say these things to people. I mean, like, I get it. Okay, so you may need like someone who looks a certain way for a certain type of role. Fine, fair enough. Those roles are taken for those people anyway. But then you have talented people who can like, and also how people's perception changes. Like I'm not going to take any names, but there are a lot of actors who started off playing small characters that were considered ugly or unattractive, and now because they've like proved their worth, now they're suddenly like. Considered
looking slick and suave and whatnot.
yeah, I mean, like at the end of the day, it's just a stylist, a hairstylist, and a makeup artist that make you do that.
You ain't ugly, you poor.
Yeah.
They say, I didn't write this, guys. Don't cancel me. But
No, it's all how you're packaged, right?
absolutely, like all of these stars who look amazing all the time, it's because there's an army of people behind you to help you look that way. But today we didn't have budget for hair, makeup, and styling. So we are real. We're keeping it real.
Yeah. So as an actor who's coming in new now, like I mean, like since I mean we're now not as young as we were when Facebook and WhatsApp groups were the only way to get a role, jobs and things. Now, how would what advice would you give to someone who wants to like start out?
The easiest, easy to hai nahi, I feel, but phir bhi, the easiest way now I feel to get noticed is to have a large social media presence following. Content creators are getting cast in roles all the time now. It's a way people, like I was talking to a producer friend the other day who was trying to find a good actor. And I've sent a list of amazing theatre actors. And he's saying not famous enough. Content creators batao koi. It is what it is.
And then the worst line that people say when it comes to that is acting करवा देंगे. कैसे करवाओगे?
But I mean, everyone learns acting. By their fifth film, people who are horrible in their first movie know at what angle their face looks good and know which vacant expression they have to give, where the music will come in and do its job.
Yeah, no, it's upsetting, man. Like, I mean, like social media driving you to and away from roles. Like, I mean, you have a big social media presence, so like, I mean, it's not a bad thing for you, but you're also a talented actor, so it doesn't matter. But for people who are like, who've like just started making, I mean, reels or whatever and put it out there, I'm not hating on them. I mean, create
Respect
content.
to them.
Yeah, respect to
also.
whatever you're doing.
It's a hard job content creators are doing.
Yeah, but acting is a different job.
It's a different job, absolutely.
Yeah, like a guy who's shooting a reel isn't going to be Martin Scorsese. Martin Scorsese is Martin Scorsese because he's a fucking genius and he's studied film. He's learned at the best film schools. He's practiced his entire life and he's only gotten better.
Yeah.
And everyone will get better with practice, but you can't give people you can't give people like a silver spoon just because they have like 1 million followers or 2 million followers, 3 million followers.
But that's the
without
way it's
any training.
Be. But it's fine because acting karwa lenge, Karan, and actors, no matter how important we think performance is, and I think it's proven enough that a good performance can move an audience, like enough and more audience will also vouch for that. But at the end of the day, acting karwa lenge, they don't care. As long as you fit the part and you're bankable enough to pump all that money into. It's not about art, Karan, and that's where we're getting fucked over.
It's a business, yeah.
It is.
Yeah. Now in the next segment of the show, and now we're going to play some drinking games. This game is called Who the Fuck Said That? I've picked the most random quotes from films said by actors, and the guests have to guess who the fuck said that. And if they get it wrong, they drink, and if they get it right, I drink.
My movie knowledge is abysmal.
Said all the actors on the
But
show.
by the way, like really, I'm not one of those nerds at all about
Wow.
cinema. It's not the years, honey, it's the mileage. मुझे नहीं पता, Karan. I can't even guess.
Hint.
Right?
I'll give you a hint. It is a Steven Spielberg film. Harrison Ford, Raiders of the Lost Ark.
I have not seen any of the Indiana Jones films. Zero. Next. Uh-oh, I know what you're thinking. Did he fire 6 shots or only 5? Well, to tell you the truth, in all this excitement, I kind of lost track myself. But this being a .44 Magnum, the most powerful handgun in the world and would blow your head clean off, you've got to ask yourself one question. Do I feel lucky? Well, do you, punk? Some American movie. रॉबर्ट डे नीरो, टैक्सी ड्राइवर, मुझे क्या पता।
Clint Eastwood, Dirty Harry.
डर्टी हैरी भी नहीं देखा है मैंने गाइस। क्यों देखूं मैं? मर्दों ने ये फिल्में बनाई हैं सैकड़ों साल पहले। आई एम नॉट सपोर्टिंग द पेट्रियार्की।
Except Karan.
एक्सेप्ट करण।
हाँ.
मरने से पहले मैं चाहता हूँ कि मेरे परिवार के साथ एक फैमिली फोटो हो। बागबान, आई नो, लगान।
Rishi Kapoor and Sons.
But I don't remember anything from that movie except Fawad Khan being gay, and I loved that. Progressive.
Daru.
Karan yaar. तेरे बाप ने ना टाइम पे विड्रॉ कर लिया होता तो तू हरामजादगी से बच जाता ना। The writing of this leads me to believe it's a love Ranjan film, like a प्यार का पंचनामा type.
So far off.
So far off. मुझे क्या पता?
It has KK Menon in the film, and it also has Piyush Mishra. Neither of them said this line though.
I don't even know.
Gulal, Abhimanyu Singh.
I've not seen.
You haven't seen Gulal?
It's a show. That's Gullak.
This is that
Gulal. It's the
Anurag
one about
Kashyap.
the gang,
The whole
the
Rajasthan.
Sari gang.
No.
That's
Gulal.
different.
It's that Rajasthan thing where set in Rajasthan where this guy wants Rajputana back, KK Menon, and it's about a college student. This game is the trivia game where I ask them questions about film trivia. So I read out a question, I give them options. There could be 3 to 4 options for each question. If they get it right, then I drink. If they get it wrong, they drink.
Okay.
Trivia. Okay. Who played the role of the protagonist in Lars von Trier's film The House That Jack Built? Mark Hamill, Matt Dillon, Matthew Perry, or Matt Damon?
The first guy.
Mark Hamill?
Sure.
No.
I don't know. I have not watched this movie. I don't even know who Mark Hamill is, guys.
He's Luke Skywalker from Star Wars. That's Mark Hamill. Matt Dillon played the role.
Matt Dillon played it. Great.
Drink.
No, Karan, I'm not having a great day, as you can see.
In the James Dean classic Rebel Without a Cause, who played Dean's love interest? Elizabeth Taylor, Judy Garland, Natalie Wood, or Audrey Hepburn?
Let's just say Judy Garland did it. I'm pretty
Natalie
sure I'm
Wood.
wrong. Yeah.
Drink.
Oh, motherfucker.
Now to Hindi film questions. Who was the director of Haram Khor, starring Nawazuddin Siddiqui?
And Shweta Tripathi.
Yeah.
I know that.
Yeah. Shlok Sharma, Ahmed Khan, Geetu Mohandas, Amit Kumar.
Geetu? No. I don't know. Shlok Sharma.
Yes.
I took a wild guess. Well done.
What was the name of Venkatesh, Telugu actor Venkatesh's Hindi debut film? Shiva, Raja, Khuda Gawa, Anari.
Anari. See, it's easier to guess Indian things. I just made that up. I didn't even know. I just figured that maybe he was in a movie like Anari.
Yeah, good guess.
Not bad, not bad.
In this game, the guest has to pick up 3 chits from the jar. Then they have to build a monologue for a minimum of 30 seconds. The chits would contain either a phrase or a word. It could be in either Hindi or in English. And they have to use all the 3 words. If they don't use the words, or if their monologue stops making sense, they have to drink. And if they do deliver the monologue, then I drink.
We can try.
All the fun ones are over, like premature ejaculator, castration and stuff.
Create method actors. Oh, boring. Sadness.
Do it as someone who's giving gyan, like someone from the film industry giving gyan to someone.
Babe, look, ये scene जो है ना, we have to create something believable, something raw, something real, babe. मतलब आप method actor हो ना, आप कहते हो कि आप पढ़ लिख के आए हो, what Stree Lasberg से आए हो ना, आप तो you have to create something like that, यार. I want to see the sadness of the character. I want to see the depth in which उनके कितने लौड़े लगे हैं, मुझे दिखाओ. कितने sadness से भरे हुए हैं, मुझे दिखाओ. I want to see you create something, you fucking method actor. Show me your sadness. I recently watched Promising Young Woman on Netflix, which was excellent. See, now, so if somebody really tells me this is a good movie, I'll watch it.
It's so good. I've seen it twice.
Outstanding. Dahaad, because I'm in it, and also it's a great show, and I'm guessing most of you have seen it. But if you haven't watched
And
it,
great performances. Gulshan Devaya,
across
Vijay Varma,
across the
Sonakshi
board,
Sinha.
everyone is
Yeah.
good. Actually, it's the first time I
And that
watched.
Soham Shah is also sick. Like, I loved him in Tumbad and I didn't recognize him. He was like a completely different human being here.
So good,
Yeah.
so good. Old recommendation, most of you have seen it, but I'm hoping if many of you are young and haven't watched it yet, I would say Little Miss Sunshine. It's one of my favorite movies of all time. I can't believe you haven't seen a film that I have seen. OMG. I think it's a movie which made me body positive before I even knew what body positivity was. I watched it as a teenager. It's just a great movie. Little Miss Sunshine, Dahaad, and Promising Young Woman. What else should we recommend to people to watch? I'm watching Brooklyn Nine-Nine, guys.
Same.
Obviously watch Brooklyn Nine-Nine if you haven't, but everybody must have seen it. And I'm watching it for the first time in my life.
Oh, seventh me.
For the 7th time in your life.
It's like my happy place. I identify with Jake
Yeah.
and Rosa. I'm like a Josa.
Josa. I'm like a Chamey.
Oh, yeah. Who's Ch?
Charles meets Amy.
Okay.
I only watch funny shit. I can't watch anything hectic.
Yeah, it depends on my state of mind. Like
Yeah.
if I'm feeling like, ooh, today I'm going to watch something Romanian, then I will. But then usually it is Brooklyn Nine-Nine, Blue Mountain State, trash TV,
Yeah.
sitcoms. Yeah.
Love is Blind. Yeah, I'm just gonna recommend Love is Blind.
What's Love is Blind?
It's a reality show about finding love without seeing the person, falling in love sight unseen.
Okay, interesting.
You don't know about Love is Blind.
I know about Love Island and Teen Mom and 16 and Pregnant. And World's Strictest Parents. You guys should really watch that one. It's on
Really?
YouTube. So they send these Brit kids who like are really like rebellious and cool. I mean, not cool necessarily, but like some are lame. And they send them to like strict parents across the world. They're two or three episodes set in India.
Just move out of my house. Just take it out from here.
I love it.
That's epic.
I love trash.
I also love trash. I love trashy reality shows.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, so now we are signing off. And yeah, please like, subscribe, watch the show.
Like,
and-
share, subscribe. Yes.
Yeah, and encourage talent and watch Masaba and Dahaad. Yeah, and Rytasha, any parting words of wisdom for our viewers?
Stay healthy, try to stay happy, go to therapy, and mental health is a journey. So that'll be my only advice to anyone ever. Just stay on top of your emotional and mental well-being.